All right, so first off, welcome to the next era of Life Day emails. And one of the big changes in this era came about from me doing a small amount of thinking. Namely, that voice typing is just the best. Because you see, what I've realized is I was talking with Majesty of Reason, and he sent me a voice message that was like 5 minutes or something, is that if I put my voice through a voice typing machine, aka a computer, then I can just record this and it'll be so much faster. And like, the other thing I realized is, yeah. Well, I was doing it originally, I translated his words from voice typing to text to see if I can understand him, and I could, which was great. And basically, it was just like so fast and efficient. I was like, wow, you know what? It's not the problem with the voice typing software that makes voice typing not usually work for me. It's the fact that I suck at pronunciation. So, yeah. It was a bit of a realization, but nevertheless, the point is we're now using voice typing. And because my thought is, right, if it's the case you can do something like clearly and efficiently, then you should do that. And if not, then I will hopefully amend my pronunciation through the process. So yeah, hopefully I'll fix my dictation and do better eventually. Second, though, this will save me so much time. Like, holy cow, voice typing like 10 bazillion words is, well, historically very time consuming. Well, not voice typing it, but typing it. But in this case, like, it takes way less time if I voice type it. And, I talk super fast. And so it's efficient to type it if I use voice typing. So, yep, hopefully I'll also get the recording at the same time. So that's a bonus. Anyway, so that's my new plan. We'll see if it works. The unfortunate thing is Joe is no longer here. He does not exist anymore. Well, actually, he still exists, but he doesn't exist relative to me in this particular sense. Because, therefore, if he airs, or if I air during the recordings, he can't fix it. So you guys get the raw footage. Have fun. Okay, after last left email, that was all like cinematic and endy. I woke up the next morning and was like, oh yeah, the trip's over. And I felt a little bit different, but good. And I was like, yay? But also kind of like sad. So I did my first post-trip quiet time. And then we just all kind of cleaned and packed as the day went on because, we had to leave the Wade's cabin and leave it nicely ordered. Plus, leaving it better than you found it is always a good practice. So we did that, and we had to wait for the washers to finish. And Joe and Karina had this super long staring contest. Like, holy cow. I gave commentary on it, and it was great. A beautiful time. Anyway, we packed up and left the cabin. Me and Noah in one car, and then Joe, Karina, and Caleb in the other car. Once we got back, I gave my mom a very long, very large hug, which she was very happy about. And then I unpacked. And then I just took a shower and stuff before we went to the Myers pretty soon after. And yeah, it was good to be back at home. It was like, oh, and also my Phoenix. Right, I got my Phoenix and my Legos and my books. Yeah, it was great. Anyway, oh, and my dungeon. I love my dungeon. My dungeon is beautiful. It is dirt. It is beauty. Therefore, beauty dirt. Beauty is dirt. There we go. A new paradigm for the age. Anyway, yeah, it was good to be home, and I left the Myers, and that was a good time. We had very good food. I very much like those meatballs. We played spike ball, which was fun. And, yep, it was good. I guess, well, I wasn't really on a team with Benj when we played spike ball, but it was good to be on a team with Benj. Also, I got to play some Lego with Seth, and I tried something. I tried something new. Because I was like, I always build a thing. But what if I didn't build a thing, but merely attached a thing? So what I did is I used tension, which I'd never done before, to keep Lego pieces together instead of actually clicking studs together. And it was actually a really interesting experience. So that was fun. New ways of using Legos. Let's see. I had a good conversation with Jake about the Eucharist, as well as a soul scripture conversation, which was very good. I hope we can have more of those, but if not, that's all good. I then got home. Once I got home, I was kind of like, I'm still energetic. So I went on a run, and that was really nice. I went on a run on City Park. I don't know how fast I went because I didn't time myself. I really should have done that. And then I was like, okay, I need to focus. And then, because I'm super poor, I was like, yeah, if you do join my credit card, then you'll actually get paid a ton of cash. AKA, the people were like that. And so I was like, yes, yay, I'll do so. So I've tried to find some credit cards to join, but that was surprisingly hard. Oddly enough, they did not want me. They kept rejecting me, which was sad. But it was fine, and I got over it. So yeah, that was how I ended that night. The next day I woke up. I then took a lovely cold shower, and then I did not go on a run. I drove over near Horstep with Mom, and we talked, and it was good. Talked about some important things, which I will not share, but they were significant. And then I cleaned the mini fridges that we found. Dad found one for me, and me and Mom found another one. And it actually took a lot of time, because, man, one of them was like full of cigars and smelled so bad. So yeah, I cleaned mini fridges, because I'm going to be buying my own food from now on. It's part of my, growing up responsibilities, but it's also expensive. And gosh, it's been a pain so far. But anyway, I cleaned those up. I put them in the room, and then I went to go donate plasma, which was a very poor experience because I was not hydrated at all, and I almost passed out, and they were like, ah, and I was like, ah. It was great. Yep, I'm poor, but you know what? Oh, well. After that, Grandpa came over. I saw him. It was cool. Oh, and then Neo came over, and we played Magic, and that was nice. Although we didn't actually talk about, anything. It was just kind of like, well, let's just play Magic and hang out. And it was a good time. But I was kind of expecting him to be like, what happened? But nothing happened, so that was fine. But I really did enjoy our Magic game. It was fun to play with him again. After that, I then tried to get Venmo to work because that's a pain. They suspended my account for, I actually don't know the reason. Originally I thought it was because I purchased Magic cards through Venmo, which I don't think that's actually the reason why, though. They were like, we think your bank account is blank. And I was like, but my bank accounts are not sus. And they were like, we still think your bank account is sus. So over the last ages, I've been trying to fix that, and it didn't work. Yay. And yeah, that was the lame way to end the day, because I was just like, this is frustrating. The next day, I woke up before my alarm, did a little bit of quiet time. I then picked up Grandpa from the airport and took him there. Oh no, I took him to the airport and woke up early because I was taking him, there. I then got some chai tea. No, we got to chat, not chai tea. We then got to chat as we drove there. Although it was mostly just talking about his experience and time in Georgia for his school, which he owns part of. And yep, took him to the airport. It was good, nothing problematic there. And then because I was already in Denver, I was like, hey, Michael, because Michael moved to Denver recently. You want to hang out? And he was like, yeah. So I went over there and we drove around and went to McDonald's and chatted and caught up, and it was very good. I enjoy seeing him. After that, I went back to town and I had like this all planned out where I ordered my groceries, and it just so happened like I picked them up at the perfect time, and I'd hang out with Michael and it was great. So I went to Walmart to pick up my groceries and I just sit there. And then I sat there longer. And then I kept sitting there. And I'm like, man, they're taking ages. My order is really small. I'm surprised they're taking so long. And then after waiting for like actually 50 minutes, I was like, okay, something's probably up. It took me 50 minutes to realize that. And that shows you I'm very intelligent, because I did not notice before 50 minutes. Yep. I've given everyone that had been there cycled through like twice by then. I was like, I'm just going to give more time. It's fine. I don't want to make it too hard on them. I don't want to complain. I'll just chill. Yeah, don't worry about it. And then I realized that I had ordered my groceries to the wrong Walmart. So with like 10 minutes to go before I was supposed to pick up my order, before they like dropped it, I was like, oh shoot. And I drove to the other Walmart and I got it all sorted out, and it was a pain. So yeah, that was a lame experience, because I was like, well, that was 15 minutes of my day wasted. And, I should have at least read something in that time. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something productive in my waiting time, but, I didn't. So that was lame. But yeah, the whole debacle was great. And I eventually did grate my groceries, which is nice. My groceries consist of 7 kinds of sauce, rice and beans, plus bacon and waffles. My plan right now is to eat tuna, because I bought tuna recently. Rice and beans, and then just put sauce on it. Because let's be honest, what makes a meal good? Answer, sauce. Therefore, if you buy the cheapest possible but technically nutritious meal, and you put good sauce on it, it should be a great meal. This is the truth by all logical analysis. So, that's my plan. And so far, it's working. Chick-fil-A sauce, very good. So after that, I then hung out with John, who took me out to Cane's, which was really nice of him. It was really good to see him again. And then Brayden as well. Good to see them again. We just hung out at his house, got some D&D stuff sorted out, and played some magic battles. Brayden fought my blue deck, and it was great. He got Ultra Crush, and he he had like a really overpowered deck, but blue is just gross. So yeah, that was very fun. Yep, that was basically how it lasted. I went to bed at like 11:30 because I decided not to stay up till 3 anymore. Yay! I woke up, had a big breakfast with all the sauces because I had groceries now. I went to CSL again and was nervous this time because last situation was very unpleasant. But I would like to be hydrated, and I ate a lot, so it was actually okay. The plasmodization experience wasn't bad. I then talked with Triss, a.k.a. Toby, my cousin. They're going through some gender stuff, which is a whole deal. But I got to catch up with them, and that was good. And it's definitely good to hear their perspective on life. I then made some rice, which is actually kind of time-consuming. And I needed something like an Instant Pot or something like that. Or I need to buy something like an Instant Pot because I, use that a lot. I need money, though. I then was, then I was like, I have an hour to kill because I agreed to go to youth group thing because Ben invited me. And I was like, that sounds fun. But I was like, what am I going to do with this hour? And it turned out Caleb invited me to come over and play brawl with him and Joe. So I was like, sure. And so I did that. And it was actually great. A lot of muscle memory sticks into you, by the way. It's surprising how much I can get back into it after not playing for ages. Really good time. I think we were pretty well matched. And I had some good moments. I just really enjoyed it. More than usual. So yeah, it was good. I then went to youth group kickoff, which was great. Like tons of fun, lots of water, whipped cream battles. Me and Johan just went at it. There was like a full-on war, and then Karina started squirting me, and I was like, what are you doing? I did nothing to provoke her. But, it's just irrational. No, not irrational. What's the word for uncaused, but in a war sense? Unprovoked. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was unprovoked violence. I don't know. They just attacked me. Ben helped me out. He's my guy. We teamed up. Yeah, it was a good time. We did get to have some spike ball games, which was fun for me and, Benj, because I got to beat up people. But we did not beat Ty and Sam left-handed. Unfortunately, we just got close. I think our game has gotten a little less good, or they got better, but we're back. We'll get back there. Anyway, yep, I decided to go to the Myers house after that to pick up my magic cards and weigh myself. Here, you get some pictures of the comparison. That's the before and after stats, according to Karina's scale. And then, on the way back, I raced Benj off the line, and I was beating him at the start because I had my whole, quick start technique that I spent 10 seconds researching. But then his car accelerated beyond mine, so that was super sad. So yeah, let's see. I went to the Myers house, just hung out there for a tiny bit of time, weighed myself, went home. I then watched some Vivid Florid Eyes with Annalise, Grace, Ben, and Caleb. I think everyone really liked it because it was a really good anime. definitely recommend it as an anime. And after that, I was basically like, well, it's late. And so I'll watch a Magic of Reason video and write my questions down, and then I'll go to bed. So I did that. The next day I woke up and almost went on a run, but I didn't because my phone kept smacking against my leg and it was very painful. I know, it's odd and kind of a lame reason not to run, but you know what? It was real. It's not a fake reason. It was a real reason. Yep, I had quiet time. It was good. I went and had coffee with Mom and then went over to CSU and got my CSU ID printed out, which is handy, before doing like a little tour of their gym, which is a nice gym. Maybe very expensive though. Let's see. After that, I did a lot of Magic, but not Magic with people, Magic with myself, because the day before, Braden and John were like, look at our overpowered awesome decks. And I was like, okay, but that's because you paid hundreds of bucks for your cards, and you probably looked up how to make those decks, and, you know, decided to not abide by weird arbitrary restrictions like monocolor and no artifacts and all that jazz. So I was like, ha! Okay, fine. I'm going to show them all I can make a good deck if I try. And I've been limiting myself, and so I decided to spend the next 5 hours looking through every single Magic card available on the internet to hypothetically make a good deck. Every like, commander. We'll see. They shipped here in like 3 weeks. But I spent a lot of time working on that deck, and yeah, my brain kind of hurt after that because I was like just scared to scream for ages. I then went to the Myers and played more Magic with them before coming back and finishing my Magic deck, and it was just a Magic full day. I then decided I don't want any more Magic in my life because I was way too much Magic. Hopefully I'll do less of that soon, now. The next day, I bought more food because I was going camping. I then got Venmo to finally work, which is fantastic because I've been actually running out of cash in my bank account. And now I have like $80 more. So yeah, I was liberated by access to Venmo, which is great. I then conversed with Majesty of Reason via Messenger, which is fantastic. And that guy's just a god. And then we drove, me and Ben. It was a really good drive. I actually really enjoyed the drive quite a lot. Saw this spectacular rainbow. Oh my gosh, top tier. Probably a 10 out of 10 rainbow, or at least a 9. It was a high tier rainbow. It was like a double rainbow. You could see the entire rainbow, and the rainbow went like all the way to the ground. Like probably a 10 rainbow. If I've ever seen a better rainbow, I don't recall it. Very good rainbow. Anyway, we arrived at the campsite. We ended up being at the ranch because Ben and Caleb went to the original location they were planning to go, and it was like very lame. So they decided that, you know, the property their family owns was way better. And it was actually a fantastic spot. They had like this cool fire set up where there were rocks that were naturally around it. There was a creek nearby. Really great spot. They did some work on it the day before, and because they were there a day before us, and yeah, it was just really good. Yep, we hung up a mini projector that Ben had and hung the sheet up and watched Hunt for the Willow People, which was a great experience. It was really funny because, you know, the sheet would like wave in the wind a bit and then it would like warp the screen. So it was like hard to watch, but definitely a good time. And yeah, I was really tired at this point and I only kind of half watched. I had a sideways view anyway. So yeah, the problem was that night I got garbage sleep. Like, it was solid sleep and uninterrupted, but it was like 3 hours. Well, maybe 3.5, something like that. So I felt tired the entire day after. So just everything I'm about to say after this, just prefaced with super tired and groggy. So yeah, basically kind of woke up, like with the sun at 6, went to bed at like 3 at night because the movie went till 3. And I was like, well, I don't want to get up, so I'm just going to listen to some Celtic women and stay with my eyes closed. So I did that for like an hour and something. And after that, I was like, well, I still don't want to get up. So I listened to Pints of Quest with the Navy SEAL officer podcast. So I listened to an hour and 30 minutes of that. And I was like, okay, I should probably get up. So I got up, made a fire, and just kind of hung around, and everyone else woke up. And then I went to go pick raspberry because, you know, I was like, well, I can. I'm super tired, but I might as well. And they were all like, let's landscape. And I was like, I don't really want to do physical labor in this state. So I decided to go pick raspberries instead, which was actually pretty hard. There's like a surprising amount of effort they used to put into picking raspberries. They were wild raspberries on the property, which is cool, but they're like actually such a pain to get to and such a pain to pick. Like, they're just so few and far in between. I didn't come back with that many raspberries for the amount of time I spent, but, you know, it was decent. I listened to Celtic Women while I did that. And if you can't tell, I'm on a Celtic Women thing, so I try to get to know Celtic Women super well. And I'm getting there. I know almost all their songs, I think. And yeah, basically I came back with my raspberries, and I was just kind of like, walked up and down the stream that was nearby. Not doing much, just kind of being in zombie mode. And Ben was like, we need flat rocks! So me and Ben were like, okay. And we hauled flat rocks to him. And we made a tiny little seating area. And yeah, that was cool. And then I just kind of rested in my hammock, almost slept, but I didn't actually sleep because I was just super tired, but it was the middle of the day. I then decided to go out to the hot springs, we decided to go out to the hot springs, but before we went, we got some food at a restaurant where I saw the most stressed waiter I think I've ever seen. Like, that guy was stressed. Like, yeah, it was an interesting experience. It was almost like, I mean, the food was fine. It wasn't great, it wasn't horrible, but the experience was like good because the guy was a novelty, but it was almost like seeing an animal in the zoo where you're like, look at this stressed specimen. And I do feel bad for him partially, but I also just felt glad to see him. So yeah, anyway, yep. After that, we got to these lovely hot springs, which was cool. However, there were a bunch of guys that were just chilling and smoking marijuana, so that was kind of interesting. They offered us some smokes in their joint, but we were like, no, I'm afraid we don't smoke. It was kind of funny. And we just kind of hung out with them for a while until they and this other game creeped down, and we're like, okay, we're done. And yeah, then they were like, we're done. And yeah, we had like the hot springs all to ourselves, and the hot springs were just a perfect temperature. A little lukewarm, but like a great temperature and staying in forever. I normally like to go to hot springs where I usually have to go to hot springs where I have to like get out and back in because it's so hot. Do that a few times. But these were like, I did that twice. I don't know. It was great. The stars were the worst, and the conversations didn't really happen. I think that's partially my fault. I was just super tired. I was like, I'm dead. But yeah, it was a good time. Good hot springs. I was just super dead. We then drove home. I slept on I didn't actually sleep. I rested in the back of the car. Well, once I got back, I got in my hammock, fell asleep right away because I was super tired. And finally, as for today, I woke up and felt way better because I slept like 8 or 9 hours, which is relatively fantastic, even though my body's still really tired. And we all packed up and just kind of drove home. And yep, I had a really good conversation with Ben, who's very bueno. And yeah, we got back home, took a shower, and that was fantastic. I discovered, we stopped before we got home. We stopped at Vern's and got cinnamon rolls. And I discovered that sugar, in intense amounts of sugar, has hurted my stomach. And it might be because I've been like not eating sugar for ages, but it's weird. Like I actually got stomach pain. And yep, I had them at the hot springs before when I was eating Reese's too. I ate Reese's and I was like, this is really tasty. I want another Reese's. And I was like, I feel bad. So it might be a thing now. I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, I took a long shower and watched an anime movie with a fan to relax. And then I started doing this. And that's the tail end of it. Start to finish. That's all I have to say. And I bid thee all adieu.